Let's check out my next surfboard that I got here. I wasn't really trying to collect this. It was sitting on the side of my brother's house, and he kind of pitched it at me. I left it alone. Then they said they were going to throw it in the trash, and I kind of took a better look at it and it ended up being a Pat Ryan. Pat Ryan's a really good shaper. He was taught by Greg Knoll. Any Greg Knoll boards that you could find are worth money now. And Pat Ryan's been shaping at 80's surfboards in Hermosa Beach since 1971. So this is one of the earliest thrusters I've ever seen. A thruster means that tri-fin set up in the back here. So let's check and see exactly how he placed it. About an inch off the edge here. It's got the tilt, and it's kind of towed in a little bit, which is cool. You don't want the fins to be perfectly straight. So they did know what they were doing back then. Same with the rear. That's about as far as we put it nowadays, and these are about as big as the fins are nowadays. So it's so relevant to ride this thing. What also surprised me was there was a slight concave in it, which is more of a modern kind of a thing. A lot of the older boards, they didn't know what they were doing, and there's a lot of V in it. So you'll see it go down like this and that. That's not cool. What you got here is the rails are kind of more buoyant, and it floats you a little bit better. It's not a very thick board, which surprised me. It's not super thick. I was like, wow. You could actually duck dive this board. It has a little bit of nose rocker. It's not going to do anything funny up here. And, it has enough flatness in the back so it's not a fully rockery, terrible to ride in all kinds of conditions. It seems like a really generally good to ride board. A pintail, it's not the most common design unless it's for a bigger wave. Most of the thrusters are squash tail nowadays, where it'd be a little bit more squared off in the back. And this board's about 7 feet long. That's a little bit bigger than thrusters are nowadays. Thruster just means 3 fin setup that are all equally shaped so that you can. At first we had single fins, like a big single fin here, and then we went with 2 fins, and then we started putting a little fin over here, and then we made a bigger one. So this is pretty much the standard surfboard that you'll see everybody riding now. Paddle out in Huntington Beach or something like that. I'd flip it over, but it's pretty ugly on the other side. So let's just enjoy what Pat Ryan did here. I'm gonna have to ride it, just because it's so cool. The outline of it is a nice gradual curve. It's not stuck into being straight in any one spot. It's all one continuous flow. And you could tell Pat Ryan is a Class A shaper just by looking at one of his older boards. Amazing.